Go then, yeah? You ready? Hello everyone, welcome back. Some more English. Last period. So I hope you're still awake and ready. Last time we talked about advertising, didn't we? So we're going to continue on with radio advertisements and tips for that. But before we start then, I'm just waiting for numbers to come up. So let's wait a little bit. All right, whilst we're waiting, here's a little warm-up for you. What does YES spell? What does YES spell? Yes, doesn't it? What does EYES spell? Some of you might be saying ES, ES. Is that right? ES? EYES, what does it spell? Have a little think about it. EYES. Eyes. Okay. So there's quite a funny clip actually on YouTube that I was watching. There's a good one where a wife does it to her husband. It's like, what does YES spell? And then EYES spells ES, but it's not actually, it's eyes, right? So that's an example of the power of suggestion. And it's a funny example of, I think they call it anchoring. So it's where you focus on one word to start with, and then you can't get away from thinking about that word. So in a way, that's kind of like advertising, how they focus on one particular word or one particular benefit, something like that. So we're going to look at some advertising tips or radio advertisement tips. And remember, we can call this advertisement, advertisement, advert, or just simply ads. Okay then. So I think time to go. Let's go. So, with a radio advert, you need to persuade people to do something, right? So, can you remember we talked about this in the first term as well? We had these three words, logos, pathos, and ethos, and their different meanings. So what does that mean then? Logos. Let's look at logos first. This is really logic, isn't it? You use logic to reason why something is good. So in the example there, don't drink and drive. It kind of makes good sense because you shouldn't harm yourself or put others in the way of harm. And I think in Thai you say don't drive drunk. So same kind of meaning, but it has a logic which will appeal to your reasoning. Okay, your sense of reasoning. Next one is emotion. So using words to make people feel emotions, like happy or sad, something like that. In adverts, it's usually positive feelings. So something like the feel-good factor. So we've got an example here, two great tastes that taste great together. Kind of makes you feel good about eating something. Next one, that was pathos, next one is ethos. So that's all about trust and credibility. And here we have an example, banking services you can rely on. So it gives you kind of peace of mind. Peace of mind is like you don't have to worry about things, and you can relax. Other ways you could use trust, it might be like a credible person or a famous person. So anybody in the public eye that is a celebrity, for example. So, Michael Jordan, you trust him about when he talks about basketball shoes, right? So that's the three ways, or the cornerstones of how to persuade somebody to listen. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so how would you make a radio advertisement? Because on the radio, as you would have on TV, it's very limited time. And often radio adverts are a little bit less than something you'd see on TV, so 60 seconds or less is the only time that you have to push your product and make people listen. So the way you write the advertisement has to be persuasive, but also you have to use simple language. It has to be simple and precise. You need to say exactly what you want to say clearly, and in addition you need to be like grabbing the attention so people will listen to you, not just waiting for another song. I'm a little bit bad for adverts. I don't really, if an advert comes on, I tend to turn off. So this is the challenge, is to make it sound interesting and to get people to listen to what you're saying. Alright, moving on then. So usually then, what kind of formula is there? There isn't really a set formula for this type of thing, because different people will listen to different things, and there is, however, like a usual way of doing it. So here we have number one, the intro. This is like the attention grabber. Example might be, hungry for something sweet, maybe, or hungry for success. What type of technique am I using there? Can you remember? Something where I give you a question that grabs your attention and you have to think about it, but not necessarily answer. Was this exaggeration? Is this repetition? Or is it rhetorical question? Well, it's a kind of rhetorical question, isn't it? It's making you think about something that you're not thinking about at that time. Okay? And then the second one, benefits. What are the benefits of the product and service? So we're going to look at how to think about benefits and what you can say about the benefits of a product, for example, or a service in a little while. And then it's basically what's good for the consumer. The consumer is the person that's listening. What's good for the person that's going to buy? Or what's good for the person that you need to create a desire to do something. Then finally we have a call to action, and this is a prompt to make the consumer act. So for example, it might be something like, come to blah blah blah, come to Burger Queen, come to visit my social website, or come to visit a website of some sort. Okay, so those are the three ways that you can do that. Other things that you'd also need to think about are using simple language, like we sort of said before. You shouldn't be doing too much complicated stuff. It should be simple enough and easy to listen to. And then you might have like two things going on. This is what interplay means. You're going from emotion and then going to logic, using logic also. So you can use those two together. And then a narrative. How are you going to do it? Is it going to be a short story, or is it just going to be like a straight description? Are you just going to list one thing after the other? But a narrative is how you will connect and then what you want to say in those 30 seconds that you have, 60 seconds that you have. Okay, so here's another example of grabbing attention. You can also call this a hook. So like if you remember back to the persuasive essay that we did as well, we used a hook, something to grab the attention of the reader. So this is doing the same kind of thing, but we're doing it in speaking. And it's for a purpose, it's for a specific purpose for advertising. Okay? So it's creating an interest, and really it should stop, it should make people stop and listen, and then you can use those different language techniques that we discussed about in the last lesson. So repeating words, like repetition, using a rhetorical question, something like that to make you think, or make the listener think, I should say. Okay, so that's that. For your advert, should you be specific or just do you need to talk generally? Well, I guess the main thing is, because we're thinking about simple language, don't be too technical. For example, instead of just listing information, one bit of information followed by another bit of information, you can just use adjectives and noun collocations. Those combinations of adjective and noun. So if you remember back when we did the example of the car, right, the Toyota car, it didn't talk about engine size, but used words like real power. And it didn't talk about speed or controllability, speed or control. It talked about absolute performance, stuff like that, right? So these are powerful ways of saying the same thing and keeping it simple. So make sure you zero in, be precise, and say what people will like most about your offer, the product, or the service. So zero in means just to focus on one or two important things that you want to get across, that you want to say. So yeah, don't be too technical. And then we talked about this, the engine size, real power, speed and control, absolute performance. Okay, so be sure to zero in, focus on whatever is important. So using a problem/solution structure is one way of doing it. To tell a story, you could highlight a problem that could happen and then come up with a handy just means like handy just means convenient, a convenient way that solves the problem. So a convenient solution where they can use your product or service, whatever it is. Okay, this also gives you the opportunity to use comedy, so like funny situations. Think about adverts that you've heard of before that use funny situations. These tend to stick in your mind, right? They're memorable listening experiences. But don't go too mad on the voices. You don't need to do that too much. And remember, you're making an advert that is going to be listened to many times. So it's not just one time, but it could be listened to many times, and it doesn't get boring. Okay, make it relevant then also. So you need to ensure that you relate the benefits. It has to appeal to whoever is listening. And then you need to focus. You can focus by talking about benefits. All right, so let's have a look at what I mean by benefits in a bit more detail then. So for example, every market you go to or every website you visit you're usually faced with many choices, right? There are many options for different products and services, and then it's your difficult task to try and choose one which is the best for you. So from the other point of view, from when you're trying to make the advert, you need to promote the product or service, and you must think about how it is different. And you can do this by giving information on features and benefits to get more sales, more users, more views, more visits, whatever it is you are interested in doing. So what is a feature? A feature is something that it has, or a characteristic. It could also be something it is, right? And benefits what it does. What is good about it. So let's have a look at a simple example then. Let's have a look at this pen. What are the features? What are the benefits? So you could say that this is elegant. Let's say this is more expensive than a biro pen, for example. So you could say it's elegant. What else could you say? What adjectives would you use for this? Type away if you like. Okay, so it's elegant. You could say something like shiny, it's shiny, whatever. Stylish, right? A nice shiny silvery pen. It's quite stylish. So these are describing words, and then it's quite a big pen, isn't it? So it's got a big ink cartridge inside. So there's a lot of ink that you can use in there. Okay, let's have a look at some other things. Right. Does it look different? Yes, it's different to normal pens or cheap pens. And maybe it could impress other people. It looks good, right? And then it could be long-lasting. It's long-lasting. So which of these are features and then which of these are benefits? These ones are the features, so describing what it is, or what it has, and then benefits, describing why those features are good. So they're both related. Alright, so this kind of gives us a challenge then. We need to relate the benefits to the target audience, or the people that are going to be listening to your advert. Why? To give maximum appeal and to create interest also. Okay, alright, so let's have a look at an example, putting it all together. Let's think about this example where we have different technological appliances. And just choose one. Today we're going to look at this, the iPhone. Alright, so what kind of features might be good about the iPhone that we all know and love? Well, it could be, for example, more secure. That might be something that pops to mind. You might think, yes, it's got more security, right? So what are the benefits of having a more secure platform or operating system? Well, privacy. It means things are going to be private. Okay, so then how can we sell this one? How can you sell it? Really, you're asking the question, what does it do for me? So what is the major benefit And how can you relate that to people? You can think about possible scenarios where we're talking about a more secure service. The what ifs. So set the scene. What if you lose your phone? Oh my goodness. That's going to be a problem, right? What if somebody stole your phone? Or what if somebody hacks your phone? So these are all problem scenarios, things that could happen, but not necessarily will happen. Okay? So it can be just a way of making people think about security. So they're happy with their phone, but things can happen which might make you think more about the privacy or the security of your phone. Alright then, so let's have a look at an example where we're looking at a hack. So a possible potential hacker can look into your phone. And here is a script, right? We're doing an example script. So, this is the starting point. You need to grab someone's attention. It's the attention grabber. Are you happy with your phone? Well, yes, I am. I'm happy. Why not? Most people have huge amounts of data, personal data that is stored on their phones. What's on your phone? Personal photos, passwords, banking apps, all these types of things. So we have a statement there, and then in this part, we're kind of relating it. We're relating it more to the audience, the target listeners. Then we can do a bit of research. You can go on and research some information. This one, don't worry, only 97% of all malware attacks Android. That should be something you worry about, right? But not if you have an iPhone. Then you can give the reassuring statement, peace of mind statement. That's why the clever people at iPhone designed an operating system that makes apps more secure, safer from attacks, but it's also smarter all round. So you're giving like a benefit and also connecting, relating how that is useful to somebody. All right, and then we end up with the finishing statement, which might be this: iPhone smarter than most smartphones. So that's an example of a slogan, if you like. And then how can you get people to buy it or come and visit? You can use this kind of statement: come to a store near you, come now. All right, so let's break this down. What have we got? The first one was a rhetorical question, right? It's making you think. The next one, a simple statement. Then we did some research, so we're looking at a statistic, so this is a real statistic. Then we talked about the benefit. How does it benefit? Well, it's more secure, it's safer. And we turn that into a kind of sales message. Next one, this is a kind of slogan. And then finally the call to action, so prompting the listener to do something. Visit a website or go to the store. Alright, so let's look at that process again then. So you can think about a product, any product. Came out with the iPhone. Then think about what's good about it. So security and privacy. Then think about what situations might challenge that. And then think about the benefits of your product which you can sell. So we had Think of a product or service. So these are related. Think of a product or service. Brainstorm features and benefits. Research the information. Research the information. So this one we came up with a linked idea of a hacker. And then the benefits. Decide on a sales message that really connects and persuades the listener. Now remember, you can use techniques like exaggeration, that's okay, repetition, like repeating the same word, and then make it stand out and grab your attention. Alright, so how can you do this in your groups? Well, in groups you can try this maybe. You're looking for features and benefits, different characteristics of a product, so maybe you can do the PMI strategy. Think about how what is good, think about what is not so good, and then just make a list from everybody in your group about the different things. And then so you can basically all agree on features and benefits and its appeal, its general appeal. How to do research? Well, you can Google away, right? Find facts and figures. Find the information that you need to find about each of those different features and scenarios. Could be potential problem scenarios that affect those features. Alright, so how to make a sales message? Well, let's look at how you can make the benefit into a sales message that tells the listener what's in it for me. Okay, it's important to use the word choice like we have with the other examples that we were listening to. For example, don't use complicated words, and then it needs to have some sort of impact. So we've got these nice words like real power, more secure. They have a kind of impact that people remember. It's more memorable. Alright, for an example then, if you went to a grocery store, the feature of a grocery store might be that it has a home delivery service, right? So what's the benefit? Well, the benefit is it saves time because you don't have to visit the store. So how could you do this? How could you boost this up? I don't know, I sent her like a link to a Padlet thing, but I'm not sure it's working. So if you have any ideas of how you might put that into words to relate the benefit more to the customer, then send that on Padlet. And I'll see if this works. I wanted to use this in future lessons. Let's see if it works. How? Maybe not. I can't read it. Okay then, it doesn't look like I can use that. Alright, so anyway, that didn't work. So what's the sales message? Well, you could have something like this. Don't waste your valuable time shopping for groceries. We'll do your shopping for you and deliver to your door, absolutely free. Okay, so that is taking the benefit and then adding to it. Alright, what's in it for the customer, the consumer? Another example, toys, this time batteries, like the electronic toys, they need batteries, so batteries included in the package. What's the benefit? It's ready to use. You can use it straight away. So, buying toys at Christmas, your dad, Santa Claus doesn't have to stop at another shop to buy the batteries. What's the sales message? Well, it's ready to use, straight out of the box, no hassles. No hassle means no additional problems, no complications, and no disappointed children on Christmas morning. So this is another way to wrap up your message. Right, one more problem, one more example of relating the benefits. Here we have the computer benefit. So the hard drive is 1 terabyte. What is the benefit? Install large amounts of software and large numbers of files like photos or movies or documents. And then how can you make that benefit better sounding? How can you add to that? Well, it could be something like this. With a 1 terabyte hard drive, you can store all your important documents on one computer without having to worry about performance issues. Okay, so that's really zeroing in, it's really focusing on the benefit and what that does for the customer. Okay then, so let's have a look at the recap. What have we talked about so far? So most ads have a hook. There's no secret formula because different styles will appeal to different people. So usually it's simple statements, right? So it could be something like this. Wow, this is delicious. What's your secret? It's giving you the wow factor now. We've got the wow factor. Or it might be something like this. Check out our incredibly low prices. So you're looking at ways of putting the information across. The main important thing here is low prices. How low? They're very low. They're incredibly low. Okay, so there we have the wow factor. And then talk about the benefits and create interest. So being happy with your phone is Apple's first priority. You have the security that gives you peace of mind. You don't have to worry. Knowing that your files and photos are safe. Okay, so that's the benefit, and then drive the benefit home. And then we have call to action. So like I said before, if it's sales, if you want to sell more things, that's your main idea, then use words like come now, offer lasts for a limited period only. Buy 2, get 1 free, that type of thing. Or it could just be brand awareness, so you want people to visit a website or some other thing on the internet. And then finally we have a slogan. So that's a short, catchy phrase. Catchy, remember, just means memorable, something that sticks in your mind. And this is specifically identified with a company. It's associated with a company. So then, for example, you could have something like this, so good. So good is just in Thailand, I think. I'm not sure. But everywhere else, it's finger-licking good. Finger-licking good. Maybe changed because KFC is eaten with knives and forks in Thailand. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to know why that is. Let me know if you know. So yeah. So it's finger-licking good, and then that became so good. That's the advert that you're probably more familiar with. Right. Okay, next up then. See if you know these ones. It's probably best to give some examples, just so you've got an idea about what a slogan is. So here's one. Which of those does it come from? A, B, C, or D? Which one is it? Which one does that slogan belong to? Which company do you associate it with? Yes, it could well be C. Hold on. Yes, it is C. Right, very good. Next one. See if you know this one. A bit more difficult. Moving forward. Well, it's going to be something to do about moving. And so we have some car companies, car manufacturers, and then we have a transport company. Which one is it? Yes, very good. C. I've got C. So just wait for you to come up. Who's going to answer? Moving forward. Have a guess. Oh, there's a bit of a lag. So is it A, Toyota? Is it B, Ford? Is it C, Mazda? Or is it D, DHL? Okay, very good. Moving forward. Looks like I'm getting a few right answers now. Yes, so moving forward is actually Toyota. Yes, very good. A car company. Alright, next one then, the next slogan. Eat fresh. You should all know this one because it was one of our chosen listening adverts, activities from before. Is it A, Taco Bell? Is it B, Sammy's Sandwiches? Is it C, Submarine? Or is it D, Subway? Yeah, a very well known slogan for Subway. Very good. Most of you got that. Yeah, a lot of correct answers there. And then another one. So this one is think different. Not think differently, but think different. So is it A, is it IBM? Is it B, Apple? Is it C, Microsoft? Or is it D, Asus? Am I? B or C? We got B or C, we're not sure. What do the students think? Students think B. There's no E's, so that's good. Yeah, B. I think it is B, yes. So this is the one for Apple, the slogan for Apple. Finally, this may be a bit more tricky, a bit more difficult. So what slogan is this? It melts in your mouth. It melts in your mouth, not in your hands. I should read it. There, is that A, Snickers? B, Ferrero Rocher? C, Skittles? Or D, M&M's? Let's see who likes sweet things, who likes their snacks. B or C though? Yeah, getting a lot of D's there. Yeah, I think you could be right. Yes, it's the slogan for M&M. Alright, so you know your slogan. So can you make something like that yourselves? I'm sure you can. Not too difficult, right? Nice simple language and to the point. It makes you think or associate words with a product or service or something else. Alright, so these are some other words that I showed you before which you can use. The first load of words, these ones, are used more than twice, generally speaking, from the study on different slogans. These ones, these are more than twice. These ones are twice, 2 times, and these ones are you only use once. So yeah, lots of nice adjectives there, which you can use when you come to create your advert. All right, so that was the recap. Other things to consider: use emotive language. Make opinions and statements. Research facts and statistics, facts and figures. And then think about the style, how you're going to deliver a message. Will it be a situation? Will it be a funny situation? Will it be a problem, solution type of situation? Or will it just be funny? There's nothing wrong with being serious as well. You can have like a serious one. Why not? Okay. So that's basically it. So to wrap up then, let's wrap it up. What I've shown you today are tried and tested examples, but the idea is for you to get creative, right? Play with the language and then see what works and doesn't work for you. All right, so there we have it. And now the bit that you're not going to like, the assignment. So you can do this in groups, teams of 4. If you can't make a team of 4, make a team of 3. If you can't make a team of 3, make a team of 2. See how you do that. And then the idea is to make, using all of the stuff that we've talked about, so techniques and what I've shown you today, follow that formula of intro, benefit, and then call to action. And then create a 90-second radio advert. So this is only like an audio file that you need to do in your groups, and then that equates, or that is equal to about 150 words. So aim for about 150 words, and you'll be on track. So I will send you more information about that. You will be able to see that in more detail, give you more details about the assignment and how you can upload your files, but it's going to be the same as the last speaking activity anyway. Alright, that's it. Any questions? Any questions? I don't know why the Padlet thing didn't work. We'll try and get that working next time as well. Seem to have made a load of Padlets. So that's it for now. And then that's it for now. So of course, send any questions you have to the chat group. I'll be happy to answer them. No problem. All right. Bye bye for now.